but he goes. But the child 10, Nabi Karim Sallallahu says, in the age of 10, you must be strict with him. Show the strictness to him that this is something not is small, it's something very important. Now you become very strict with him. You take him to the masjid for the next from 10 years to 14 years, continuously without a fail. Because remember, every sunnah of Nabi Karim Sallallahu is a very great ibadat. Now, at the age of 15, now the child becomes to know now that this is something very important. It came in his mind, now this is something that I must not leave out no matter what happens. Now he begins to invite his father, let's go to the masjid. Before the father should say, let's go, the child was reluctant. But now the child said, the father, let's go, is the effect of the sunnah of Nabi Karim Sallallahu. We come to realize this much, is the environment at home is very important. You cannot change the world, but you can change your own self. If you're showing concern of the world, you can take concern, it makes no difference, but bring about a difference in yourself. For example, you see, the effect of outside coming to the effect of inside. It must bring effect. A person now, you begin to think, now let me look, where a child is a male, he wants to wear a woman's clothing. When you start wearing woman's clothing, what happens? You start walking like a woman too. You like talking like a woman too. You'll do action like a woman too, everything like a woman. Although today, nowadays, they are doing that too now. So he's walking and talking, but he's a man, but he's wearing woman's clothing. The effect of the clothing that the person brought over that condition that he does everything that a female does. Like a thief also, or a person's, he say, let me wear a Maulana's clothing and walk around. So he's wearing Maulana's clothing, when he's walking around, he's got the effect is there, no matter how bad he is that people are looking at me. The effect of the clothing, now he acts like a Maulana too. He tries to make sure that it affects him, So outwardly, whatever he's doing is affecting the inside also. So we must not think this much that whatever you do outwardly does not affect inside. It will definitely affect inside. In a time of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in one war, when they're coming back to Madinatul Munawwara, they stopped one place. When they stopped one place, they said namaz, so they gave adhan. So while the adhan was given, the non-Muslims who were present there, they started mocking at the adhan. Nabi Karim Sallallahu said, who is that? So the young boys, they ran away. But one person who, Mahdura, he was a bit big, he felt shy. How can I run away? So he stood there. So Nabi Karim called him, come here. He said, now give the adhan. He did not want to give. Nabi Karim said, say after me. So he said, Allahu Akbar. He gave adhan also. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. When the time he said, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, he did not want to say, but they believed in the oneness of Allah, but did not believe in the Prophet of Nabi Karim. Nabi insisted, say Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. So he said, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. He did not say with the intent to become a Muslim. The effect was when he said that he became Muslim. He told me, Rasulullah, now I'm a Muslim. So just imagine by just an outward something you do to someone, it affects you that extent that you become, it affects you inside also. That's why in the hadith is mentioned, when you cannot cry, at least do like you are crying. A person sometimes, no, I cannot cry. Okay, do not cry, but do like you are crying. The outside will bring the effect inside too. So how important it is that we have to bring about what we are lacking today. The remedy is this much, that to bring about a Islamic environment at home. If you look into the past of people, we did not have an Islamic school or Muslim school before, but the effect was because they were at home, the homes were completely Islamically, that they could go to any school, it did not affect them. What was the reason for that? The outside cannot harm you as long as your inside is correct for you. The mother from the beginning brings about this condition that she brings out the Islamic effect in the life at home. then you see how effect will take outside. The mother is a very important person in this world. The Prophet ﷺ said, the most greatest gift a person can have in this world is a pious wife. A pious wife is the greatest gift. If you don't have a pious wife, you have achieved nothing. A pious wife will assist you, and she'll even assist your child also. She'll make, thereafter a pious wife, you get a pious child. I'm not going to go into details. Everyone wants the child to become like Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullah alayhi. But remember, who was his father first? Who was his mother first? I'm not going to go into details. In those days, we should speak about Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullah, who was his father. His father was that person who ate that apple. And then he realized this apple belonged to someone. That fear came that Allah will question me on this thing, the taqwa that he had. And when he found the master of the farmer said, look here, man. When he told him, please forgive me, the farmer said, this person does not look like an ordinary person. He looks like someone very important. Now I must keep him by me. He could have forgiven him. He said, no, you stay here and stay 1 year and bring about the same apple, then I'll forgive you. Because he had the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I ate that apple that don't belong to me. The taqwa that he had in him, that he stayed 1 year when the fruit was ready. He told the master, the fruit is ready. Can you forgive me? He said, I will not forgive you till you get married to my daughter. And that daughter is someone who is blind, who's deaf, who's crippled. Now just imagine a person's 1 year spent so much of time for forgiveness. And now he's been told to get married to a girl of that kind, who is deaf, blind, and dumb. Because he had the fear, he said, I'm prepared to get married to that girl, as long as Allah forgives me. He gets married to her, and the moment he goes to her, he said, now what must I do? He said, I want to drink water. She wakes up to give the water to him. He gets surprised. I was told that she's crippled, that she can walk also, and she can hear too. Then he asked the husband. The next morning he tells the father-in-law, why did you do that to me? For what did you do that to me? He says, what must I tell you? You told me she's blind and deaf and dumb. He said, you have misunderstood me. When I say she was blind, she did not see anything haram in her life. She did not see anything haram. When I said she was deaf, she did not hear anything haram. She did not hear anything, no such thing as anything of kind of backbiting, ghibat, anything of it. When I said she said something, she was dumb because she was always speaking the truth. She never told a lie to. And I say cripple is because she did not go to wrong places. Oh, my mothers, if you can only listen to this. That outcome was this, that Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullah came about. So if you want a pious child, you have to become pious yourself. It will affect you. Oh, my mothers, let me tell you something. The madrasa starts at home, not outside. Environment at home must be right, then outside will be no effect. It will not affect the child. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a mother rings me up. There's a fight between husband and wife. The child is going to a Christian school. And the mother is sending the child to Christian school, and the father says, there's a fight between that. And the husband comes to me, and I tell him, listen, do me a favor. I do not know you, but let me speak to the mother. I spoke to the mother. She said, this is this and that, whatever she said. I said, as long as you know this, mother, daily you remind your child, oh, my child, remember you're going to the school, but you belong to Allah. Remind your child that you can eat haram, do not eat haram, keep away from haram, eat halal. Do not eat from your friend's food, it's haram. Inculcate that in your child all the time, that remind him. Through that, inshallah, the child will keep away from it. So the madrasa starts from home. It's not from outside. If the madrasa is not at home, then what's the use then? The school cannot do anything. The madrasa institution cannot do anything. What they can do is what they can tell you. Like the police, the police. The police can tell you, hey, do not steal. This is a punishment, but he cannot stop you. He can stop you, but he cannot make it hate you. To hate a sin is more important. When you hate a sin, then the police and no police don't make effect at all because you hate the thing. To hate a sin is more important to bring about that in an environment at home. The mother speaks to the child from the beginning. And remember, the mother does not know that how important it is that this child, when he's born, the heart is like a pearl. The heart of a child is like a pearl. Pure, pure, pure from the world of all the filth. Is thereafter what you do will affect the child. Ma Hazrat Mullah Masiyullah Sahib Rahmatullah say, the child is born in Lalo and Mahfuz, the pull of Allah. Once that is written by it will never get erased. Likewise, once ever the child is stamped into mind, whatever, it will never get erased. The mothers may be thinking, the fathers may be thinking that the child in front of them. They're just looking at the child, the mother and father fighting, being vulgar, whatever. They are fighting, but the child is actually recording everything. But in your mind, you think the child knows nothing. But when the child of age of puberty, when the child reads that it rewinds all that. Now it's been rewinded. Because I told you, it's Imam Ghazali Rahman says very nicely, the child was like a pearl, pure heart. It's how you make the child. If you are bad qualities, the child, the bad qualities come to the child. If you have good qualities in you, the good qualities will come to the child. So my dear friends, mothers, this is what is supposed to be, that our madrasa starts at home, not outside. Our madrasa must be at home. But sad to say today, you have so many huffazes here. Alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala has taken the responsibility. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidh. I have revealed the Quran. Before this, every script that came, the nations, the Nabis of that time, the nation were given the opportunity to look after. They did not look after. Allah said, the Quran and Islam, I look after. I do not keep anyone else. I revealed it, I look after. If today, tomorrow we turn away from Islam, it will not affect Allah any. Allah will create another nation who will not be like you. In the Quran, Allah that makes it very clear. If only our mothers at home become a true mother, then a true madrasa will be at home too. True madrasa. That's why a pious wife is important. There was a king. His son was gone out to battle and he lost the battle. The king gets a message, the battle is lost. The wife says, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. After some time, he gets a message that they won the battle. So he asked the wife, what makes you so sure that your son did not lose the battle? He said, let me tell you this much. When that child was in my stomach, I was always in wudu. I stayed in wudu. I said, Ya Allah, this is an amanat. Oh, my mothers, this child that you became Hifz was amanat of us. Allah will question you on the day of Qiyamah how you use this amanat. This was the amanat that I looked after this child. I was always wudu. I should make sure I should keep myself away from all kinds of sins. I should not see the wrong things. I should not hear the wrong things. I would not show respect to anyone. When this child was born, whenever I feed the child, I did 2 rakat namaz and then feed the child. Oh Allah, I did my duty. It can never be that my child will lose a battle. I had that yaqeen. And see, he won the battle. The most important thing is environment at home. My subject today is environment at home. Because so many who fast today. Today is sad to say that you say a child, you become a Hifz, give him a cell phone. My biggest fear is this, but you give a child a cell phone, he'll forget the Quran. Because once he got a cell phone, he's gone to hell. Because I've seen what is happening around us. If you want your child, oh my mothers and fathers, my parents, my dear parents, if you want your child to show disrespect to you, give him a cell phone. Then you call him to, you want to look at your face too. If you want to give a child or daughter to be disobedient to you, give a cell phone to her. Today we are like that. Oh, mashallah, my small child is a master in cell phone. You're praising your child a master in cell phone. You do not know he became a master of something else. The same child who gave your life to, tomorrow the same child is becoming against you. If you want your child to cheat, if you want your child to become a liar, if you want your child to deceive you, give him a cell phone, you see what happens to you. Because the cell phone is something good to use, but unfortunately the cell phone is used for the wrong methods. I'm saying to you because I'm seeing it every day. I'm seeing it every day that every home, look at it, the Quran, you became half in the Quran. You are supposed to be different from others. My husband say a person who half in the Quran is walking with Jannat around in this world. A Hafiz himself must know who he is. A Hafiz himself must know who he is. He must know himself who he is. He knows that he's a Hafiz of the Quran. He's walking the Quran in this whole world like he's walking for Jannat and waiting for the door of Jannat to open. And there Allah says, now walk into Jannat and read as much as you want into Jannat. So you yourself have not recognized yourself, then who will recognize you? So the greatest thing in this month, Allah gave you this Quran. This Quran Allah gave you, appreciate it. The only way appreciation is, every time you look at the cell phone, open the Quran. And remember one thing, when you open the Quran, there is nothing more greater ibadah than reciting the Quran. There is nothing more greater. That person who opened the Quran, remember, he did not open, Allah made him open the Quran. Every time when you open the Quran, you say, Ya Allah, you open the Quran for me to listen, to talk to you. But when the person who opens the Quran, he is talking to Allah Ta'ala. And the person who listens to the Quran is listening to the wa'az of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That person is very fortunate who has the opportunity to open the Quran, because, and remember one thing, respect is very important. We do not even respect the Quran too. You know the Kaabatullah, when you turn to hold the Kaaba without wudu is permissible, always disrespect. But to hold the Quran without wudu is not permissible. La yamassu illa al-mutahharun. Yet you find people hold the Quran without wudu. Where's the respect? I've been given time to speak, but I thought, let me give my message to you. My biggest message is, please, don't give a gift. What's your gift? I got a cell phone. I got an iPhone. I got this phone. That I don't want to know. Tell him that I've given you give him an Islamic book of how to bring about good character in oneself. A Hafiz al-Quran must bring in life a character of that kind, that anyone looks at him and say, this is the Hafiz al-Quran. This is the Hafiz al-Quran. So these few words, I'm so happy, alhamdulillah, Allah has made it like that throughout the world, so many madrasas are open, so many huffaz, because Allah has taken the responsibility. But there's a fear there that this Quran can talk against you on the day of Qiyamah. You mustn't think you got this Quran, it's just a small thing, it's a very big thing, but this Quran can speak against you on the day of Qiyamah. And tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, He did not fulfill my rights. He did not fulfill my rights. So every half is my advice to them, that look after your Quran. It takes 4 years to complete a Hafiz. It takes 3 months to forget the Quran. Remember, it takes 4 years to become Hafiz, or 3 years. It takes 3 months to forget. You know, when a camel is set free, runs, that's how the Quran runs away from you too. Allah mari fathers from you. So the dua is that Allah Ta'ala gave you this Quran, look after it, and make intention, oh Allah, whatever is in there, I must follow the Quran. Become an example of the Quran, that anyone looks at you to say, MashaAllah, he is a true Hafiz of the Quran. May Allah Ta'ala give barakat to everyone. And we all know, the family knows that the reward is so great as long as the Hafiz follows the Quran. If a Hafiz follows the Quran, then he's given that glad tidings of, he'll be taking so many people to Jannat who have been given to go to Jahannam. But the condition is you follow the Quran. Allah Ta'ala, whatever I said, give us tawfiq of following it, give barakat in it, and these boys, Allah Ta'ala must give them true custodians of Islam. Wa akhiru da'wana, alhamdulillah.
Jazakallahu khair, Maulana Abdul Haq Magda, for that very sage, very wise advice. I think everybody who is in the schooling system will concur 100% that without the education that children receive from home, it is almost impossible to shape the character of children. Sadly, we have in recent times found that the school is becoming more and more the place where we are expected to do the work that mothers and fathers ought to be doing at home, particularly when it comes to developing the character, the akhlaq of our children. And if the advice that Maulana has given is taken to heart, and families, not only mothers, but fathers and families themselves, understand the need that they have and the responsibility, the Islamic responsibility they have. The fact is that we have been told in the Quran that the father, you are the shepherd of your family. And may Allah make it possible for us to, in fact, take on that responsibility, inshallah. I had omitted to indicate that we had several apologies for many reasons, including the fact that some of our guests had contracted, either themselves had contracted COVID or had been in contact with people who had been tested positive for COVID. So we've got apologies from Qari Ahmad Lokat, our board member Ahmad Mehta, and we also have had several members of the families whose children are graduating who could not attend at the last minute because of COVID. I also want to convey the very sincere apologies of Hafez Ibrahim Limalia, who has been a teacher at Orient for many years, part of our Hifz class. He was supposed to have read the concluding dua, and he has submitted his apologies. And similarly, our Maulana Ahmad Muhammadi's good wife, Mrs. Muhammadi, has not been well, and despite the fact that she tried to attend, it was not possible for her to do so. And we make dua that she will be granted shifa as well. We also would like to say that we were expecting our Hazrat Maulana's wife to be present as well, but I'm sure her duas are with us, inshallah. It is now my great pleasure to start by calling upon our graduating Huffaz to read their final sabak. And I would like to start by calling upon Hafiz Muhammad Muzambil Ali Qasim. But before I do that, I would like to also indicate that Muhammad Muzambil's father, Shabir Qasim, had passed away, among the first who passed away due to COVID in 2020. He would have been so proud, Marhum Shabir, to have been present and to know that his son is graduating as a Hafiz. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fill his grave with nur and grant him the highest stage in Jannat al-Firdaus, inshallah. So it's my pleasure to call upon Muhammad Muzambil to please come forward and to please read. Shukran. Oh, okay. All right. I've been told that all of them will come forward. So Muhammad Muzambil. Okay. And will the other Hufaz please also join? Muhammad Hamza Faisal Muhammad, Muhammad Ahmad Faisal Hussain, Hamza Ibrahim Mansoor, Junaid Lafir Malik Qasim, Muhammad Bilal Kadwa, Muhammad Yusuf Fahim Suleiman, Luqman Idris Mullah, Abdul Mateen Fayaz Arai, and Muhammad Uwais Ridwan Koya. And I'll call upon you in that order, inshallah. Shukran. Just a final housekeeping notice. The toilets for the men are to my right, behind the hall. The toilets for the ladies are at the far end of the school, inshallah. Shukran.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون صدق الله العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون صدق الله العظيم.
That was Hifz Fazl Muhammad. And now I call upon Muhammad Ahmad Fazl Hussain to recite.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Hafiz Muhammad Ahmad Fazl Hussain. Now Muhammad Hafiz Hamza Ibrahim Mansoor.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. May I now call upon Hafiz Junaid Lafir Malik Qasim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وضرب الله مثلا للذين آمنوا امرأة فرعون إذ قالت رب ابن لي عندك بيتا في الجنة ونجني من فرعون وعمله ونجني من القوم الظالمين. ومريم ابنة عمران التي أحصنت فرجها فنفخنا فيه من روحنا وصدقت بكلمات ربها وكتبه وكانت من القانتين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون. كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون. إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون. صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Hafiz Junaid. I now call upon Hafiz Muhammad Bilal Kadwa.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما أرسلنا قبلك من المرسلين إلا إنهم ليأكلون الطعام ويمشون في الأسواق وجعلنا بعضكم لبعض فتنة أتصبرون وكان ربك بصيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون. كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون. إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون. صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Hafiz Muhammad Bilal. I now call upon Hafiz Muhammad Yusuf Fahim Suleiman.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون. كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون. إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون. ويل يومئذ للمكذبين. فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون. صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Hafiz Muhammad Yusuf Fahim Suleiman. Now I call upon Hafiz Luqman Idris Mullah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون صدق الله.
MashaAllah, Hafiz Luqman. Now it is the turn of Hafiz Abdul Mateen Fayyaz Arai.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون صدق الله العظيم.
Sadaqallahu al-Azim. MashaAllah, Hafiz Abdul Mateen Fayyaz Arai. And now the final recitation is from Hafiz Muhammad Uwais Ridwan Koya.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن المتقين في ظلال وعيون وفواكه مما يشتهون كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما كنتم تعملون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين ويل يومئذ للمكذبين كلوا وتمتعوا قليلا إنكم مجرمون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين وإذا قيل لهم اركعوا لا يركعون ويل يومئذ للمكذبين فبأي حديث بعده يؤمنون بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله من الفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, we have now come to the completion of the Quran for all our 10 Huffaz. In a slight departure from the normal protocol, we will have an address by Advocate Umar Musa, Freudian slip Umar, followed by the vote of thanks, and then Mulana Abdul Haq Magda will conclude with a dua, inshallah.
نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Maulana Maqada Sahab, Ulama Ikram, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Rab, we thank you for perfecting our deen, the deen of all the Anbiya. The Yahudi practice a deen full of law and no grace. The Nasara practice a deen full of grace and no law. Your mercy, Ya Rab, you have given us Islam, which is both law and grace. In this perfect deen, Ya Rab, we are taught that when it is a time of joy and glad tidings, we must give thanks and make shukr. And when we are faced with adversity, we must make sabr. Today is the day of glad tidings, and we must therefore make shukr and we must make dua. Ya Rab, despite all the effort of the Ustads and the Apas and Maulana Muhammadi, the parents, these zealous and passionate young men sitting in front, this day would not have been possible, Ya Rab, without your rahmah, without your mercy and without your grace. So Rab, we give thanks to you. We make shukr for this momentous occasion in the history of this school. In the process, Ya Rab, you have allowed us to emulate the very inception of our deen. We forget so easily that through your decree, our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam could neither read nor write. He was Hifz al-Quran. So were the Sahaba Ikram. And the Quran that people like me pick up, because I am not a Hafiz, despite Mr. Ansur gifting that title to me, until the time of Hazrat Uthman radiyallahu anhu, all the recitation was done from the mind. It is no accident that, Ya Rab, you revealed your kalam to the Arab, because history teaches that the Bedouin has about the finest memory of any insan that you've ever created. And therefore you ensured there would be no mistake or error in your kalam. It is only Hazrat Usman radiallahu anhu who was concerned that Sahaba were emigrating to spread the deen. They were dying in war and of old age, that he sought to have all the parchments destroyed, lest there be confusion. And he set down one written version of the Holy Quran, 2 copies of which still exist today. Ya Rab, when the colonial British wrenched India from the Muslim leadership, they did what all colonial powers and conquering powers do. They robbed the local people of their soul. And so the British overlords sought to burn every copy of the Holy Quran they could find. The ulama ikram in India asked for an audience. They were granted that. They sat down and said to the British overlords, here's a copy of the Quran Kareem. And here are a half a dozen young men, not much different from these sitting here today. Ask them to recite any portion and test them. That's exactly what they did. They were shocked. So the ulama said, look, you can carry on burning as long as you want. The Quran is burnt into the hearts of these young people. You're going to succeed in nothing. It's a historical fact. They then decided to abandon the whole object of burning the Qurans. They realized it was a total exercise in futility. That is the barakah of having the Quran in your heart. Ya Rab, we give shukr to you for people like Maulana Makada Sahab, Maulana Ahmad Muhammadi, all of the associates who have spent their life imparting the memory of the Quran and burning it into the hearts of these young men and women, more and more women today. In our perfect deen, we are not supposed to have any envy or jealousy. But I confess today that I am envious of people like Maulana Maqdad Sahab, Maulana Ahmad Muhammadi and others. Because in matters of deen, one is entitled to be envious if your brother outpaces you. Rab, there can be no more noble pursuit in this dunya than spending your life inculcating the love and the memory of your kalam in the minds and the hearts of young people. Ya Rab, why you chose them and not us, not people like me, I don't know. But we accept your will and your judgment in all things. Despite that envy, Rab, we make sincere dua that for all the effort they've put in over years and years, and the hufaz that they've produced, that you grant them the best in this dunya and the best in the akhirah as well, inshallah. Rab, we give shukr for the parents of these young people, because without them it will be very, very difficult for a young man, a young girl to get up one day at the age of 8 or 9 and say, I want to be Hifz al-Quran. It's your perfect system. So we must not overlook the role that they have played in shaping these young people and allowing them to be so blessed and gifted. Ya Rab, we arrive at a venue like this, all clean, spick and span. These youngsters come here before the crack of dawn to go over their sabak, their door, and their security staff here. Ya Rab, we mustn't forget that the main actors or players are the ustads, but there are a whole lot of people that make all this possible, that look after these young people, that make sure the venue is clean, make sure the washrooms are clean. So Ya Rab, please bless all the people in the school, whether they're security or maintenance or estate, for the part that they have played in ensuring that these young people can qualify today, alhamdulillah. Ya Allah, Ya Rab, in the same breath, the founders of the school, of whom my late father was one, could never have imagined in their wildest dreams that 60 years later we'd be sitting here with 10 hufaz qualifying on one Sunday morning. It is like the pious man who plants a tree knowing that he'll never sit in the shade of it, but it doesn't matter. Ya Rab, grant to them the highest abode in Jannah for the good work, for the niyyah, for having started the initiative that made it possible for us to do what we do today. Maulana Maqdad Sahab referred you to the fact that when we were young, he addressed the elders in this crowd. That's only because he looks very young. I doubt anyone is older than him in this crowd. But when he addressed you, he said, when we were young, we had to import hufaz. My late father had to import Sheikh Buli from Cape Town to read Taraweeh at the Jummah Masjid. He had a voice like a nightingale. But that's not why he was brought down. In the absence of that, you had to read from Alam Tara. We had no hufaz. Today we're producing like we can export you in tins by the grace and the qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as Maulana was saying, it's not enough to simply know the Quran by heart. The Sultan of Awliya, Hazrat Abdul Qadir al-Jailani radiyallahu anhu, who Maulana spoke so affectionately about, him who did not suckle his mother during the day if it was Ramadan, He whom you blessed with having both parents as the direct descendants of the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he was one of the few mortals, Ya Rab, who remembered that very first meeting with you that you describe in your kalam so beautifully, when you say, Ya Insan, at the dawn of creation, I gathered all the progeny of Adam alayhi salam and I addressed you. Ya Rab, because of our pathetic human condition and the things that block us from remembering that, did not affect someone like Hazrat Abdul Qadir Jailani, radhiyallahu anhu. And he remembered, Ya Rab, that first meeting with you. Ya Rab, he said that the Quran that we read has about 12 layers of meaning to every single ayah. And he gave us examples. Ya Rab, what is our condition when we do not even understand the most superficial reading of your kalam? Maulana referred to Imam Ghazali radhiyallahu anhu, who said that the Quran is full of jewels, that you dive into the ocean. Maulana used the word pearl in describing these young people. But Imam Ghazali radhiyallahu anhu was talking about the jewels in the Quran. We're not even on the sand of the beach, let alone diving into the ocean to pick up those pearls. Ya Rab, we are unworthy and we are undeserving, as Maulana has pointed out. But Ya Rab, we make sincere dua to you that from these young people and those that will follow and their kin, Ya Rab, we're tired of sabr. Please, Rab, bring forth giants of fiqh and kalam and usul from these young people. We had no Hifz, today we go to Hifz. The next step, Ya Rab, is to bring forth the giants that will inspire not the Ummah, but the entire humanity with your perfect deen. We make that sincere and humble dua to you. Ya Rab, this is more particularly concerning when it comes to science. We have forgotten that the majority of the stars in the cosmos that you see every day have Arabic Islamic names. Ya Rab, let us control the narrative of science, not for vanity and vain glory and because we want to remember the past and we want to rest on the laurels of our history. No, Rab. Because if you do not give us that gift, Rab, we will lose our deen. 93% of all scientists in the Western world that control science are kafir. They do not believe in you, Rab. And they will pollute and make toxic our belief if you do not give us ownership of this again. At the height of our power, Muslims control the narrative through Iman. All science was derived from Iman. There's nothing wrong with technology. Look at what they're doing, Rab. They're teaching machines to think. Nothing wrong. Rab, you created, you allow us to procreate. You teach us to read, you allow us to teach. And as my Ustad Babu Ansur has taught me, we are Khaliful Ard. We are your vice-gerents on this dunya. So of course you allow us to create machines that can compute. But what do they call it, Rab? Artificial intelligence. Artificial compared to what? To insan? That is the Western title. That is a God complex. Ya Rab, we are artificial intelligence. Have we forgotten what you commanded Jibreel alayhi salam to address the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam 1430 years ago? He said, Ikra. Ikra bismi rabbika allazi khalaqal insan. Read in the name of thy Lord who taught man that which he knew not. You made us, Rabb, and you taught us that which we knew not. You are the only reality, you say in the Quran, Rabb. You are the fountain of knowledge. We are artificial intelligence. When they say the Western scientists artificial, they mean that nature has given them original intelligence like you, Rabb. That is shirk. Not the technology, the title. And Rabb, we all imitate it because we are like sheep. Rabb, please give us the ownership back. Because if you do not, Rabb, we are going to lose our way, Rabb. Rabb, finally, Maulana and I were talking before his inspiring address about how toxic the world is today. I said to Maulana, maybe every generation says the same thing. Maulana says, no, I've lived longer than you and I think today is bad. But at the end of the day, Ya Rab, we make shukr that we were born after the Khatam al-Nabiyyin and that we were born in the ummah of the Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Because had that not been the case, Rab, we would never have heard the beauty, the majesty, the grandeur, the ilm of your kalam. If we had been born before the Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we would have had to wait till Akhirah, and that's a long wait, Rab. So in your own way, Rab, you do as you consider appropriate, but you have blessed us with all the toxicity in the dunya of listening to your kalam, of trying to respect it, of trying to understand it. And for that we give you eternal gratitude. Can I ask all of you please to softly read 3 times Surah Ikhlas? إن الله ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا محمد وصحبه وبارك وسلم الله نور السماوات والأرض الله نور السماوات والأرض الله نور السماوات والأرض نورا على نور نورا على نور نورا على نور بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Jazakallah, people, for your patience, for your attention. My good friend and genuine Hafez, Zain Fakhruddin, who I call Wakil Sahib, has advised me that we are doing very well in time. We have, when I say well in time, I mean we are on time. It's not as if we have saved time. I need to convey to you that as an institute and a board, we recognize that we can never ever compensate or reward those who are instrumental in bringing these Hufaz to the point of graduation, alhamdulillah, nor do we aspire to do so. Their reward lies with their Rabb, and we make dua, inshallah, that they will receive their just reward. All we can do is acknowledge in a manner of tokenism our appreciation for their efforts. And this is what we're going to move on to now. I will ask some people to join me, join us in the front. Our elder stateswoman on the board, Professor Shaida Qasim. Salim Manza's truck wants to come in. 2 cars are blocking it. The 2 of you may be on Rosa, but the rest of us want to have lunch. So please, you can make iftar at your own time, but move your cars because I am famished. It's a Mercedes-Benz ND 210800. You don't have to stand up straight away and embarrass yourself. You can slide out in a sly way just now. 210800. BMW ND, had to be Lani cars. Oh, just nice to ask. 612383. 612383. So if anyone belongs to these cars, not the cars belong to you, just now in a moment when we're not paying attention, you can slide out. Otherwise, I might just call your name from the front. Our elder stateswoman, Professor Shaida Qasim, has a very ailing mother at Al-Qadi, and she has apologized. We obviously remember her mother in our du'as as she has requested we do. But she has sent her lesser half, Mr. Yunus Qasim. I think I see you hiding behind someone, Yunus. So hiding times are over. You better come to the front and deputize. You want to be carried forward? No, that's like pushing it a bit. Huh? We know you're incapacitated. Please, Yunus, come forward and you're not getting married by come forward and assist us, please, man. People in their 70s are acting like bridegrooms here. All right, so I'm going to be lazy because I'm athletic. I'm sitting down. Yunus Qasim, on behalf of, not that Shaida would have come here, but we've got to give you some recognition. Please, can we ask for Maulana Muhammadi? Is his function? I hope he's here somewhere. I'm trying to look for him. Where is he? Oh, he's here. You thought he went away? Maulana, may Allah bless you for all your, whatever you do for us and for these young people. If you come forward, please. Something edible, something halal. Promise you, Maulana. Jazakallah. Maulana Nazim Mehta, you had to sing for your gift, but anyway, it's all right. Did a good job. Hafez Ahmad Muhammad, is that for moving the chairs, Ahmad? Get thrown in, huh? MashaAllah. Hafez Huzaifa Karodia, not here. COVID. He's ducking. Will he bring medical form to show us? All right, and then I think Maulana, you better come here, Yunus. Maulana Abdul Haq Makada Sahib. You better, who's for him? You better give it to him. Let me give it to him. Around there. Oh, you'll give it. All right. All right, Qasim, your film star role is over now. Sorry? Oh, you're going to mix it up? Okay, Jazakallah. Maulana, that's... Yunus, unfortunately, your starting role is over now. You can take a seat. I'm going to call, the board is busy appointing younger people because older people have a bad habit of dying. And not planning to go anywhere, but never know. So I'm going to now call Dr. Ridwan Ali. He's on our medical advisory committee. Ridwan Ali, where are you hiding? Oh, you're there, right? So I can't see. Right, so graduate Hafiz Muhammad Muzammil Ali Qasim. Maulana Muhammadi had asked, made a request that I make a special mention. Babu has mentioned that his father sadly passed away. But what Maulana shared with me was a very touching story that he said to his son on his deathbed that, my son, whatever you do, complete your Hifz. He passed on, and then Muhammad read the Yasin at the Janaza, at the Qabristan. Hafiz Hamza Faisal Muhammad. Hafiz Muhammad Ahmad Faisal Hussain. Hafiz Hamza Ibrahim Mansoor, Hafiz Junaid Lafir Malik Qasim, Hafiz Muhammad Bilal Kadwa. Oh, sorry. I'm actually thinking about something else. Yusuf Karwa, that's another young appointee onto the board. He's also a Hafiz and he's also the uncle, I think, of Hafiz Ibrahim Mansoor. Is that right, Yusuf? Sorry? Yeah, Hafiz Hamza is his nephew, is it not? Yeah. All in the family. All right. Who did I finish now? Malik Qasim. Kadwa. Hafiz Muhammad Yusuf Fahim Suleiman. Sheikh, tell him stop being nice. Hafiz Luqman Idris Mullah. Hafiz Abdul Mateen Fayaz. Sorry, I got getting old and blind. Arai. It's the right pronunciation. Hafiz Uwais Ridwan Koya. MashaAllah. No, let's go to the ladies. No, very rushing. There's something else to say to all right, before I move on to the female section, Maulana has also asked that I make mention, there should have been 11 graduates today. There's Muhammad M.S. Musa as well. I suspect I saw his grandfather coming and joining us, but my eyesight is not what it used to be. So, Maaf if I'm mistaken. He wanted to complete a graduate at his nikah. I think that was Friday, alhamdulillah. South Africa, when we were young, Maulana used to say, the meher is 25 rand 50 cent. Barabar? You forgot, Maulana, bringing back memories for you. Now it's 1 Kruger Rand. In Pretoria, they bite that thing to make sure it's a genuine Kruger Rand. God help him if he got false teeth. But I know in many parts of the world, the woman will sometimes say to the man that I want your mare, that you must by heart Surah Baqarah or the Amma juice. So I don't know if that's what happened with our Muhammad M.S. Musa. Maybe, eh? He is, right. Gulamba Zain tells me that he's got slightly better eyesight than me, that I did see right. Jazakallah for joining us, and Mubarak to you as well. We take all the credit because, I mean, you can make nikah at Musgrave, but he's graduated here, so we got to claim some credit as well, Gulamba. All right, so having done that, Professor Qasim, as I said, is not here. We've got a couple of our new young lady appointees onto the board. Shenaz Kaji must go forward to where Farana, our secretary of the school, assistant to the board is, and Tasneem Karwa. Hajna Motala was supposed to be there, but maybe she smelled the food at the Randri Dawat and decided to leave. If she's there, she can go forward. There are the following to hand out. There's a bouquet to Maulima Khadija Desai. Sheikh, just have a look, see if it's happening there. I can't see from here, but see if these things are happening in the tent there and just wave to me. Otherwise, I won't know, and very hungry now. Just see if they're doing what I'm saying to them to do. Looking at, oh, Sheikh is lost. All right, Sheikh. Never mind, Sheikh, sit. All right, let's just carry on. Molima Hajra Pir, Hifz teacher, bouquet to her. Mariam Soni, ex-Hifz teacher, assistant, bouquet to her. Your wife didn't come.
We're sending Molana's wife.
Oh, then Maulana Makkada's wife didn't come. She just barely got rid of him from the house. She says she's not joining him and coming here. So we'll have to send the bouquet with Maulana home then. Oh, we're sending it to his home?
Yeah.
Okay. With him? Via Maulana, all right. You'll walk with the bouquet outside, all right. So, and also, I should mention that we had one graduate last year, Arifa Badat. She reckoned that one female was worth 10 males this year. And she and her family very graciously didn't pursue the Jalsa because we were in the middle of the second wave, December last year. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them for their consideration. Sadly, since then, she's lost both her Nani and Nana with COVID, but at least they had the joy of seeing that she qualified as a Hafizah. So there should be a gift for Arifa as well. Farana, if you can ensure, please, that that's given to her. All right, Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Why did you leave over?
Jazakallah, Advocate Musa. I keep telling him that as soon as he finishes his legal career, there's a career waiting for him as a mufti or as an alim, inshallah. I think all of you will agree. We all say Ameen to his du'as as well. It's now my great pleasure to call upon Dr. Ibrahim Mansoor to pass the vote of thanks. After which, Maulana Magda, if you'll do us a favor of concluding with the dua, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Recently, Maulana Muhammadi stated that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is worthy of gratitude, and the rest of us just make broken efforts. On that score, we give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for selecting our 10 boys to be Hafizul Quran. We are here to celebrate the accomplishments of these young men, but there are students of Quran around the world who do the same in darkness, on cold floors with Qurans that barely hold together. As such, we are acutely aware of the endless blessings and privileges Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us. Now, I will attempt to mention many individuals who have contributed to the culmination of the Orient Islamic School Hifz Jalsa. Maulana Muhammadi, we are thankful for your tireless efforts. Mr. Ansur already alluded to the fact that Maulana's wife has been unwell. Wallah, Maulana has spent more time selflessly in unwavering fashion in the company of our children than in the midst of his own family in the past few weeks and months. We make dua that Allah grants you a long life so that many more of our children benefit from your passion for teaching Quran. We make dua that Allah grants Maulana's wife shifa, ease and comfort, inshallah. The other Hifz teachers, Maulana Nazim, Hafiz Karodia and Hafiz Ahmad Muhammad, your efforts have not gone unnoticed. The commitment and dedication, especially in the early morning hours, are much appreciated. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of you barakah and long life, and may we extract many more years from all of you for the benefit of our communities, inshallah. The same goes for the previous Asatiza, Hafiz Ibrahim Limalia and Maulana Zahir Pir. We want to sincerely thank Maulana Makada for gracing us with his presence today. I also want to acknowledge Orient Islamic School and the Board of Directors for supporting this event, and especially the efforts of Dr. Hussein Randri, Advocate Umar Musa, Hafiz Zain Fakhruddin, and Mr. Ansur in no particular order. Also Yusuf Ibrahim, the IT manager, and Arshid Saib of VoiceBox. Furthermore, the support staff of the school who often are not given the credit they deserve. Shukran to my uncle Imdad Mansoor for sponsoring the Orient Islamic School gifts to our graduating Hufaz, as well as to AMS and GEM Schoolwear for the plaques and certificates. Soli Manjara needs a mention for the food at subsidized prices as well. To our children, we thank you for taking on the responsibility of carrying the lifelong responsibility of protecting the Quran in your hearts. We make dua that this event is not the end of your journey, rather the start of life's commitment to deen. May your recitation of Quran reverberate the walls of masajid and homes not only in this country, but all around the world, inshallah. We want to give a special mention to our sisters, our wives and mothers. These are the silent heroes who commit their all to ensuring the success of these hufaz. The insatiable desire to assist, whether it be with hearing their sons' recitation, making their lives easier just in general, and also all the efforts that went into arranging today. Your efforts are acknowledged and applauded, and we are forever in your debt. Finally, we thank all of you for attending today. Many have traveled distances to be here. We are sincerely grateful for this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly, inshallah. If there's anyone that we have overlooked, please make us maaf. Certainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not overlooked you, and shukran for your efforts. With those few words, Jazakallah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah, Dr. Ibrahim Mansoor, mashallah. I will ask Maulana Magda to conclude the event with a dua, inshallah.
Just one message I would like to give, which I always try to give to all the Hufaz and those people, the Quran. Whenever you recite the Quran, you must open it, you must kiss it, you must put it in your head and put it in your heart with respect. And then you say, Ya Allah, this is the words. Let me follow it. Let me follow it. Everything in it is haqq. You must say everything is in haqq. I must follow every command of yours. It must not be that I must follow those things which suits me. I must follow everything, whether I like it or don't like it. I want to have to submit myself to you. Make me become a total submission to you, like Ibrahim alayhi salam. When he said, I submit myself, Allah Ta'ala said, you submit yourself and I'll put you in a test. And we know that he had went through 33 tests. And Allah Ta'ala says, Ibrahim Rabbu fatammahun, he completed the passed test. So each and every one of us, when we recite the Quran, we have to show respect to the Quran. Second thing which I have noticed is, but when we recite the Quran, when you know that you're speaking to Allah, at that time Allah Ta'ala has a special attention with you. At that time you must make sure you not turn away from him to talk to others. The women at home have got this habit that unnecessarily while they recite the Quran, if they get a cell phone coming put on, and they know that person who's going to speak to is someone going to make panchat, you're supposed to not look at it, because at that time Allah's attention with you. And by you turning away, Allah's attention turn away from you too. Likewise, when we recite the Quran at home or in a masjid, when we recite in the Quran, we are talking to Allah Ta'ala. Fear this much that when I'm talking to him, someone else come to talk to you, do not turn towards him too. By you turning towards him, possibility he turns away from you too. Because we do not know when the time of acceptance is there. So make dua to Allah that we must follow those, what I have mentioned, that I must follow first, and we all must become acting on the following of the sunnah of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammadin wa ashabihi. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وصحبه. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا وربنا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملت والذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك غفور رحيم اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب القبر وعذاب الآخرة اللهم نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وارض عنا وادخلنا الجنة ونجنا من النار واصلح لنا شأننا كله ربنا وفقنا لما تحب وترضى من القول والعمل والفعل والتي إنك على كل شيء قدير اللهم حاسبنا حسابا يسيرا اللهم حاسبنا حسابا يسيرا اللهم حاسبنا حسابا يسيرا اللهم ثبتنا للإيمان وأمتنا للإيمان واحشرنا يوم القيامة مع الإيمان بحرمة القرآن وبحرمة النبي آخر الزمان وصلى الله تعالى على كل سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Jazakallah. We are going to have the Zohar Azan now, and immediately after the Zohar Azan, we will be serving lunch. Those of you who prefer to sit on the Dastarkhan, you're welcome to do so. And those who are not in a position to sit on the Dastarkhan, of course, we have tables. So please, we will have Salah first, and lunch will be served after Salah, inshallah. The Zohar. The Huzur Khana is to my right, at the back. There are wuzu facilities there for men, inshallah. No, it's too late. Too late, 1 o'clock. Zohar Jamaat will be at 1 o'clock, inshallah.
MashaAllah, you give a nice talk, MashaAllah. Just follow it now, inshallah. Must follow. It's most important to follow it.